It starts with a message at 2:13 a.m. No greeting, no name, just a link and 3 words. Prove you're useful. The screen glows in the dark as your room smells like stale air and overheated circuits. You hesitate for 3 seconds, maybe 4, knowing that's all the time you get to still be someone else. Then you click. A terminal window opens, instructions scrolling fast. A target IP, a vulnerability, a strict 90-minute deadline. No context, but you already understand this isn't a game. It's a test. Your fingers move before your thoughts catch up, scanning ports, probing weaknesses, slipping through a neglected authentication layer that feels almost too easy. And that's the first lesson. If it feels easy, someone is watching. You plant the payload, extract just enough data to prove access without triggering alarms, encrypt it twice and send it back through the anonymous channel. Then you wait. 30 minutes pass before a reply appears. You're late. You check the clock. 88 minutes. 2 minutes over. Another message follows. But you're in. No congratulations, just coordinates and a time. Tomorrow, 11 p.m. You don't sleep. The next night, you arrive at a co-working space that pretends to close at 6 p.m., yet its lights remain on. Inside, there's no receptionist, no visible cameras. But you know better. A man in a hoodie sits in the corner, silent, sliding a laptop across the table. Sit. You obey. A dashboard glows on the screen, nodes blinking across continents: Singapore, Frankfurt, Sao Paulo, each labeled with code names. He taps the screen and explains your new reality. Tier 2. No questions, crypto payments, and missed deadlines mean disappearance. Not metaphorically. Your first task is credential harvesting. Within 48 hours, you collect 1,200 logins. Within a week, you've built a pipeline. Victims stop being people and become data, strings and patterns. The money grows quickly. Hundreds, then thousands, then nearly 5,000 in a single night when a bank slips. You realize you're not the brain or the muscle. You're a tool, and tools aren't protected. The man never shares his name, but sometimes his phone lights up and he goes tense, answering to someone unseen. That's when it hits. You're not at the bottom, just close enough to see it. Soon, meetings disappear entirely. Everything shifts to encrypted layers so deep you couldn't escape even if you tried. Your tasks evolve. You design your own attacks now, building malware that slips past detection, growing botnets from thousands to over 100,000 devices. You're promoted to operator, managing infrastructure, proxy chains, and command systems. Orders come directly now. Shift traffic, kill compromised nodes, deploy 0 days. You obey without hesitation. That's how trust works here. Not loyalty, but compliance. When another operator suddenly vanishes, their responsibilities fall to you without explanation. You don't ask. You already understand. Liabilities are erased, digitally and sometimes otherwise. You work longer hours, not from obligation, but from awareness of what happens if you don't. At the next level, you become a specialist, targeting corporations, governments, and intelligence firms. Patience becomes your weapon as you spend weeks infiltrating systems. One operation takes 43 days and earns you $180,000 overnight. But the money feels empty now. The real currency is access. The structure of the organization reveals itself, cells within cells, each layer isolated. You know only a few people, never names, just roles. Mistakes here don't cost money. They attract attention from governments and rivals. You triple-check everything because you've seen what happens when someone gets careless, and you're not going back. Eventually, you're pulled into a private channel of fewer than 20 people. This is where decisions begin. As an insider, you advise rather than just execute. Your recommendations shape operations, including one that generates over $12 million. Your influence grows, but so does accountability. When an operation you approved goes wrong, silence fills the channel before the question appears. Who approved this vector? You respond calmly, taking responsibility. You spend 19 hours fixing the damage, burning infrastructure and covering tracks. You succeed, but afterwards something shifts. You're no longer just rising, you're exposed. As a controller, you assign tasks instead of receiving them, overseeing entire operations and making decisions that ripple outward. You approve high-risk attacks worth tens of millions, knowing that failures mean sacrifice. When one operator is arrested, labeled the mastermind, you feel no guilt, only calculation. The system isn't a group anymore, it's a machine, and you're helping it run. Your world shrinks, trust disappears, and you begin to realize you're becoming exactly what the system demands. At the highest levels, you become an architect, shaping the ecosystem itself, deciding targets, manipulating markets, orchestrating conflicts. Power becomes quiet, invisible, and absolute. You operate in isolation, surrounded by security and paranoia. You sense another layer above you, unseen but present. Then one day, everything changes. The channels fall silent and a single message appears. You don't report anymore. There's no title now. You're not part of the system. You are the system. You observe everything but interact through layers and abstractions. You've made yourself untouchable, but at the cost of everything you once were. Memories fade, identities blur, and even you become just another piece of data. You sit in silence, watching the world move, not because you control everything, but because you control enough. Enough to stay alive, invisible and necessary. Because if the system stops, so do you. Somewhere in the city, another screen lights up at 2:13 a.m. A message appears. Prove you're useful. A hand hesitates before clicking. You watch it happen without interest. They think it's about skill, money, or power. You know the truth. It's about what they're willing to lose. And in the end, they'll lose everything.